Welcome everybody to what technically is day 6 of the 12 days of Aptus. And today we have a special treat, bringing back a popular man, friend of the program, friend of the show, friend of mine, of course, friend of us all, Mr. Jerry Gibbons, who's going to lead us in yet another wonderful rendition of chair yoga. And today we have a little bit of a bonus, as after that we're going to do some guided meditation, which could help us all just relax and calm down. The holidays, one holiday has passed, one is coming up, some are currently going on. So Jerry's going to help us just what he does all the time, help us just become balanced, relaxed, centered, and just make us feel good. So Jerry, with that, welcome back. Always great to have you. Great to see you, sir. And please take it away.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Aptus. Thank you, Mike and Brooke, for having me again. I am thrilled to be back again and to share chair yoga, and this time also a bit deeper of meditation than we've done in the past. So first, happy holidays. Thank you for being here. My hope is that you can take something away from this practice that can help you with any stress that you might be feeling during the holidays, and also to connect to that deep sense of joy and peace that is innate within you. And so the first part of our time together will be chair yoga, where we'll do some stretches and some movements to help really get some space working around the physical heart, but also the energetic heart as we understand it in yoga. And then the meditation at the end will focus on connecting to deep joy within you. And there's a lovely way that I bring that about for you. So for chair yoga, because this is physical movement, just want to caution you that if anything doesn't feel good, don't do it. And just do the best that you can. There's no expectations here. And that goes for both the physical practice and then also the meditation at the end. For those of you who are newer to chair yoga, these practices that we'll do, these movements and these postures we'll do, come from classical, what I call classical chair yoga, which is yoga postures that were adapted for people who might be chair-bound or limited in their mobility. And I've taken those and I've adapted them further to be for people who just like are sitting all the time, you know, which is most of us these days. So when you find yourself with some aches and pains, or you're finding yourself uncomfortable after sitting for a bit, maybe at your desk, that you have some resources to help relieve some tension. Maybe it's in the shoulders, maybe it's your back, maybe it's your neck. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy this. We're going to go ahead and get started by what I call getting centered. So we're just going to close our eyes and I'll just guide you inward a bit, kind of turning off the external world and coming into our bodies and our minds. So you can sit however you want to for this. By the way, you need a chair for this one. And your chair can be, I just have a dining room chair. There's no wheels on it. If you have one with wheels, it's fine. Just be careful if it starts to move around a bit. But getting centered, feet flat on the floor. You can relax if you'd like to. And allow your eyes to close if that's comfortable. And feel the feet on the floor. Feel your seat in your chair, connection your body makes to your chair. Feel your hands in your lap. Your arms resting against the sides of your body. Your tongue resting in your mouth. The lips meeting. The eyelids touching. And then just become aware of the inner body. So a lot of what we just said was more surface, the skin. But how are you feeling internally? Where are you holding tension, discomfort, pain maybe? And where are you not holding tension? Are there any regions of the body that are soft or open or spacious, relaxed, calm? And allowing all of those experiences to be true. There's regions of the body that are uncomfortable. There's regions of the body that are comfortable. Just being present with what is, not turning away from it. And just for a couple of rounds, take a deep breath in, feel the lungs expand. And then exhale softly. 2 more times. Deep breath, feel the lungs expand. Third time's a charm. Go ahead and inhale deeply. And then exhale. And allow your eyes to start to open, bringing yourself back to the space around you. And I'm going to have you slide to the edge of your chair. We'll spend most of our time actually kind of sitting toward the edge. This makes sure that we're sitting up tall and that we're not slouching, because slouching, this is uncomfortable. This is more sustainable. Good. Now, for the placement of our feet, I'm going to have you take your knees about hip distance apart and have the heels stacking directly underneath the knees. This just creates a nice stable base so that when we're moving around a bit that we don't fall over, ideally. So relax your arms down by your side. You can feel the shoulders relax. You're going to become aware of the breath as you're inhaling and as you're exhaling, and we're going to link that with your movement. So with your next inhale, go ahead and sweep the arms out to the side, reach the arms all the way overhead, and then exhale, sweep the arms down. Okay, let's do that again. Inhale, reach the arms up, and it's like you're extending through the fingertips. So there's this big length through the body. Exhale, release the arms down. Again, inhale, lift. Exhale, release. We're going to add a subtle movement to this. So lift the arms up and then just look up as the arms sort of come together above you. And then exhale, you can look forward as the arms relax down. We'll do a few more of these, starting to warm up the shoulders, the arms, beginning to link your breath and movements. This is really great to just help bring your awareness to your body. Good. One more time. And then exhale, release the arms down. Take a moment just to feel sensation. I'll have you do that quite a bit during our practice today. It's good to feel what we feel, don't want to turn away from it. Good. And then building on this extension, I'll have you interlace your fingers in front of you, then turn the palms away from you, extend the arms forward, and then take them all the way up if you can. Good. Now reach through the wrists or the inner arm, so extending up as much as you can. Now, sometimes what happens when we do this is that we start to kind of back bend in our lower back, start to take it all back there. I'd like you to not do that. So ways you can make sure that doesn't happen is you can bring your awareness to your tailbone and just feel it tuck under slightly. Good, and you'll feel your navel pull back toward your spine, your core engaging. Good, this actually allows you to extend upward even further. And this is where I ask you, are you breathing? Take some deeper breaths. Good, one more time, reach, reach, reach. And then break the hands apart, slowly release the arms on down. Again, feel sensation. In addition to your shoulders, you might be feeling some sensation in your upper back, maybe in the chest, maybe the lateral sides of the body, and the upper body. Good. And we're going to do one more exercise with the arm extensions overhead. And I'm going to turn sideways for this one. You can keep facing forward. Sometimes it's good to see my spine, what my spine is doing. So same prep, you're going to interlace your fingers in front of you, turn the palms away, extend the arms forward, and take them overhead. Now, before I mentioned engaging the core to make sure we're not back bending in our lower back here. So get that engagement, tuck the tailbone under a bit, feel the navel pull back toward the spine. Good. This makes sure that your lower back stays relatively still or steady. And what we're going to do from here is come into a back bend with our upper back. So from the mid back up. So you can think about taking the hands back and turning the chest toward the ceiling. Going only as far as you can so that you don't take it into your lower back. Lower back stays steady. But there's this back bend happening behind the heart. It's like the heart is just bursting open toward the ceiling. Let's take some deep breaths here. You might even start to feel some heat around the chest. Keep extending through the wrists. Good, deep breath in and out. And then with an inhale, come back to a tall spine, and exhale, release the arms on down. Noticing sensation once again. Good. So some things you might be feeling right now after we did just those few movements is that you might feel a bit more awake. That's pretty normal when we're doing this, both extensions and back bends. It helps just to kind of stimulate our nervous systems, kind of pulling us out of those kind of deeper ruts, if you will, and you can translate that into whatever you want it to mean. But we're going to keep going. So still sitting on the edge of your seat because we're so suspenseful, and having your knees hip distance apart, heels stacking underneath. Release the arms down. We're gonna do some twisting now. So inhale, sweep the arms up again, reach. Then with your exhale, take your right arm forward, your left arm behind you, twist, looking behind you. Then inhale, lift the arms up, come back to center, and we'll go the other way. Bring your left arm forward, your right arm behind you, twist. Inhale, lift up. And then exhale, take the right arm forward, left arm back, twist. Inhale, back up. And then going the second direction, twisting there, looking behind you if that's comfortable. Let's keep going a few more times. Inhale, lifting the arms, and exhale, twisting. And you can go at your own pace. You can go slowly. If you feel like moving quicker, you can. Inhale, lifting, exhale, twisting. We're gonna do a couple more times on each side. Good. Lift the arms up, inhale, and exhale, release the arms on down. And you might be a bit more aware of your spine now, from the tailbone, lower back, all the way up behind the heart to the neck. Good. So when we're opening the heart in yoga, we work with not just back bends specifically, we work with any muscle group that exists around the chest. And so that includes the shoulders. And we hold so much tension in our shoulders. So this next exercise, I'll front load that it might be a little less comfortable, but when we come out of it is when you're going to feel the release. That's going to be great. So arms relax down again. Lift your left arm overhead. And you're going to drop the left hand behind your head. So the elbow is pointing. Then with your right hand, reach up and grab the elbow if you can and traction it toward the center line of your body. Okay. Now, once you're here, you got to figure out what to do with your left hand, so the hand behind you. So I'll just turn around and show you. This left hand comes toward the spine as much as possible. And that can sometimes cause the back to round. And so if that's happening, sit up taller. Feel the heart lift. So we're still working with the heart here. Good. And now you're starting to feel some stuff in that left shoulder, probably, assuming. And I want you just to breathe. Those big breaths we did during our centering practice, let's do that again. Inhale, big breath, feeling the lungs expand. Exhale, relax the breath. Again, this might not be the most comfortable thing you've done today. We're going to stay for just a few more breaths because the longer you hold this, the bigger the release. Let's do two more big breaths, okay? This is where you start to realize that I sometimes breathe slower than you. Good. When you're ready, go ahead and carefully release. Don't drop the arm, but slowly feel it unfurl as you release the hand down. And you might feel some tingling or warmth, circulation returning. If you move the shoulder around gently, you might start to really feel where that release happened. It might just start to feel a little bit different here, like there's more space, even along the neck. Yeah, might even feel like that left shoulder is dropping down further than your right, which actually might be the case. Might be the case. All right, so we do have to balance that out. So my joke is whether you like that or not, we have to do the other side. And because we tend to be dominant with one arm or hand than the other, the side's gonna be different. So if you were left-handed, that might have been your harder side. If you're right-handed, this might be your harder side. So let's just see what happens. Lift the right arm up and drop the hand behind your head again. And then with the left hand, reach up, grab the elbow, traction it toward the center line of the body. And then again, the hand that's just kind of floating back here comes toward your spine. And if your heart starts to round down, lift it up. Be light of heart. Good. Sitting up tall. Keep pulling the elbow toward the center line. And breathe. Big breaths, please. Noticing sensation, being present to sensation. And again, you can notice, is the side easier or harder than the other? Just a reminder to keep yourself on mute. Good. We're going to stay for just a few more breaths. Feeling that big breath inhale. Relaxed breath exhale. You're almost there. Good. One more breath. And then again, don't just drop the arm. Just slowly release it down, feeling it unfurl, unwind, uncurl. Just see what is happening here. Again, it might be tingling in the arm and hand, might feel like warmth. It might feel like there's space in the neck and shoulder. Just notice how that feels. Good awareness. Okay. So when it comes to opening up the heart, one of my favorite arm movements to do to help get the heart opened is the one I'm going to teach you next. And I want to just cover a little bit of anatomy before we get into it, because it's not just the arms moving, like from the shoulders down, it's actually the entire shoulder blade. So at certain points when we're back bending, for example, the shoulder blades press into the mid-spine and force the chest open. And that's what we're going to work on here with this movement. So I might stay facing this way, but you can keep facing forward, all right? Feet and knees are in the exact same position. Actually, I might do this at an angle because there's a couple of variables. We'll do this. So arms by your side. With your inhale, you're going to take your arms forward and up. With your exhale, bend your elbows and take your arms out to the side, what I call cactus arms, and turn the heart toward the ceiling. This is an inhale. And then exhale, you're going to bring the elbows and palms together and look down. And then go ahead and pull the arms back and peel the heart open. So you might want to see me do that if you're doing it with me. It's arms up, inhale, exhale, cactus, then inhale, elbows and palms together, looking down, and then inhale, pull back. Okay, so that's going to be our movement. Let's do that together. Arms down, inhale, lift up, exhale, cactus arms, and you're bringing the shoulder blades together here. Good, then inhale, bring the palms and elbows together. And then exhale, pull the arms back, peel the chest open. Inhale, lift the arms up again. Exhale, cactus. Bring everything together, look down, feeling the upper back open. And then exhale, pull the arms back. Good, arms lift, inhale. Exhale, cactus. Bring them together, look down. And then pull the elbows back. We're gonna do this a few more times, really feeling that movement in the shoulders. Exhale, cactus. Arms and palms together in front of you, look down, and then pull back. Inhale, exhale. Palms and arms together. Pull back. On your own. This is a great one to do if you're feeling stiffness in your upper back, which can happen if you're sitting a lot. Creating mobility in the upper spine. Good, we're gonna do one more and we're gonna hold some of it, all right? So go ahead and lift the arms up and then come into cactus arms and we're gonna stay here for just a couple of breaths. So the elbows are out to the side. And what I would like you to do here is to take the elbows forward, the palms back. And when you do that, it forces, again, the shoulder blades into the mid back, forcing the heart open. Let's take a couple breaths here. One more. Good, then inhale, bring the elbows and palms together around the upper back. Let's stay here for a couple of breaths, feeling the back body open, the space behind the heart or the chest. In those big, deep breaths we were doing earlier, let's do those now. And you actually might feel space or the rib cage moving in the upper back. Might feel subtle, might feel like relief, might feel like we're stretching. Good. And then pull the elbows back, palms toward the ceiling, open the heart. Good, then relax. Good, one of my favorites. All right, so just as a transitionary pose, I'm just gonna have you fold forward over your legs for a couple of breaths just to take a break from some of the movement. So sitting tall, exhale, just drape the upper body over the thighs, arms hanging toward the floor if you'd like, and release the neck. Deep breaths, please. Good, one more breath here in the forward fold. And then inhale, roll yourself on up. Good. All right. So, again, there's sensation, especially around the upper back and around the heart, really getting that region of the body moving today. We're gonna do a couple more exercises to get us, more connected to that. So to do that, we're gonna move our feet. So I've been having you keep the feet hip width apart. I'm now gonna have you take your feet shoulder width apart, or the knees about as wide as your shoulders, or maybe a little wider. And the heels are still stacking underneath, so that if you lean from side to side, that you don't fall over. That's the goal here. All right, so take your left elbow and go ahead and recline down onto your left thigh or knee, okay? And you can turn the palm up and think about taking this left shoulder away from your ear. So there's always going to be space on the left side of the neck. And then turn your right shoulder back. So it's like you're trying to look toward the ceiling. And then inhale, reach the right arm up overhead and extend. So it's a lateral stretch. Now, as you do that, you might feel your right hip bone pop up off the chair. Try to ground the right hip bone down as you reach through the right fingertips. Deep breaths here. Staying for just a few more breaths. Good, all right. Go ahead with an inhale, come all the way back up. And then we'll balance it out by doing the other side. So take your right elbow down onto your right thigh or knee, just leaning over. And again, turn the palm up, and this externally rotates the arm so you keep some space on the right side of the neck. And then roll the left shoulder back, And then inhale, sweep the left arm up and over, extending all the way out of that hip. And a reminder to ground the left hip onto the chair. It's like you're stretching in both directions. The hip stretching downward, the arm and hand are stretching up and out. Deep breaths here. Staying for just a couple more breaths, really reaching through the fingertips, really grounding through that left hip. All right, with an inhale, come all the way back up. And feel sensation, as we always do. And then bring the feet closer together again, our hip width stance, knees about hip width apart, heels stacking underneath. And with the hands on the thighs, we're going to come into a spinal flexion again. So just roll the shoulders down the back, open the chest toward the ceiling with there's a string at the center of the chest that's pulling you upward. Lower back stays flat, core is engaged. Breathe. Good. And then inhale, lift yourself up. And then exhale, just drape yourself down over your thighs again. Feel the chin tuck in toward your throat. The back of the neck release. The arms can hang toward the floor. Let's take a few breaths into this forward fold. Good. Taking one more deep breath into this posture. And then go ahead and roll yourself on up. Good morning. All right. So now we're going to transition into our meditation practice. And so I'll have you just release to the back of your chair or settle back in. And because we're sitting in a chair, I'm going to ask you to try to make sure your feet are flat on the floor. Just helpful to be grounded here. So making any adjustments you need to be comfortable. And if you want to sit up tall, you can. If you want to relax with your back against the back of the chair, go ahead and do so. Your hands can just rest in your lap on the thighs, or maybe together in your lap. And then go ahead and close your eyes as you are ready. Now we've just spent about a half an hour really creating space around the heart. To just notice how your body feels in relationship to that practice. Maybe it feels like there's energy or heat in the chest and shoulders. Maybe it feels like there's more room to breathe. Maybe you just have a really strong awareness of this region of your body, especially compared to earlier. And with this awareness, we're going to deepen that or strengthen it by becoming aware of the movement of your rib cage. So with the inhale, you'll feel the rib cage widen. And with the exhale, you'll feel the rib cage narrow. Other parts of the body might be moving here, but just notice the ribs expanding and contracting, widening and narrowing. Now, as you're aware of the rib cage moving, you might notice that your mind wants to move as well. It's thinking about something else. And that's completely normal and it's completely fine. But when you do notice your mind drifting, just bring it back to the practice. No judgment or anything. Just re-engage. The rib cage moving, widening on inhale, narrowing on exhale. And just for the next few breaths, see if you can make that movement of the rib cage just a little bit bigger. Feel it expand a bit more as you inhale. Feel it contract a bit more as you exhale. So the breath is deepening. Feeling the rib cage widen, feeling the rib cage narrow. Now, as you do so, I want you just to be aware of the spaciousness within the rib cage. And yes, we know there's organs in there. There's lungs, there's the heart, there's the spine, there's other things going on in there, but just the space that those organs occupy. Space within the rib cage. And imagine that your emotional heart or your energetic heart is just as spacious. So we want to connect to things like compassion and love and joy. Having an openness to us is a part of that. So maybe feel yourself just a bit more open emotionally. Maybe there's a sense of greater acceptance for just how things are. Or maybe just feels like a greater presence to this practice, the rib cage expanding and contracting. And we're going to try to fill that space. And so I'd like you to think of the first thing that comes to mind when I ask you the question, what brings you joy? The first thing that pops into your mind, what brings you joy? Don't question it. Don't try to rationalize it. And when you have it in your mind, acknowledge it. Oh, wow, this brings me joy. So much joy. You might have memories that pop up of when this has brought you joy. You might actually feel the joy that this brought to you in the past or maybe still brings to you. Be present to that joy. You might even feel it like a sensation in your body. Maybe it feels like light or like love. And then think of the next thing that comes into your mind when I ask the question, what brings you joy? What pops up next? What brings you joy? Again, don't question it, just allow it to arise. And once you have it, acknowledge it. This brings me joy. That's great. How has it brought you joy? When has it brought you joy? What does it feel like when it brings you joy? Allow that to enter the space. Allow that to fill you. And then again, first thing that pops into your mind, What brings you joy? Don't question it, just allow it to be there. What brings you light? What lights you up? What brings you happiness? See it, acknowledge it, feel it, know it, feel it fill you, that sense of joy kind of expanding more and more, just like the breath. And what's another thing that brings you joy, that lightens up your life, that fills you? What brings you joy? Another thing. See it, know it, feel it, acknowledge it. We're going to keep pushing a bit more, though. There's more that brings you joy than just these things we've named. What else brings you joy? It might become more mundane or feel more insignificant. It's the simple pleasures, the guilty pleasures. What brings you joy? Acknowledge it. Let it be here. There's no resistance here. What lights you up? What fills you? And then one more time. What else? What else brings you joy? What else is there that lightens up your life, that brings feelings of warmth and love and excitement? What is that? Acknowledge it, feel it, know it. How does that make you feel? And then try to just recall these things that bring you joy, the ones we've contemplated here in this practice. It's okay if some of them have flittered off, but as much as you can, maybe just like list them in your mind or see them in your mind's eye. These things, these things that bring joy. And what these things have in common is that you feel joy when they are present, that they bring out the same core sensation when they are present. And knowing that, you might start to understand that while these things that you've contemplated do help cause joy, if you will, that they're not necessarily the source of your joy, yet they bring it out in you. That joy that you feel that's so similar for each one of these things is actually something innate within you. It's actually already there. And these things just bring it out of you. They bring it out in you. But maybe acknowledge for a moment that you actually are the source of joy. And there are things that you do and people you know who remind you of it, who mirror it for you, with you, to you. But that joy isn't something you can go seek outwardly. That you're never in lack of it, but that it's something that is actually within you always. You might forget about it. It might get clouded over, but that you can connect to it. And you can use these wonderful things that remind you of it or that bring it out of you to help connect to it deeper. You are that source. You are the source of your own joy. Deep within you, steady, peaceful, calm, radiant. And just rest in that feeling, that knowledge for just a little bit longer. You are joy. You are peace. They go hand in hand. So keeping that feeling with you, I'd like you to remember your breath and begin to take a deeper, fuller breath. And bring your palms together in front of you. Go ahead and rub the palms together, creating heat between them, stimulating the palms, helping to bring you back. And take the heated palms over your eyes and brush back over the top of your head, down the neck, bringing yourself back gently to your space. Good. All right. Thank you so much for being here and sharing in this practice. It means a lot to me. It's one of my favorite practices, working with the heart, and especially that meditation, working with joy. It's my hope that you were able to connect to that deep inner source within you. Remember that, especially as you go into the holidays and things start to get a bit more stressful. And yeah, thank you again, Aptus, for having me. I look forward to coming back at some point. But yeah, have a happy holidays. Have a great rest of your week and take care. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
You're so welcome. Glad to be here as always, always. I have to get like really close to the camera now because I see some chatting going on. Oh, you're so welcome. Great, I'm glad you feel wonderful, Sarah. You're welcome, Marge. You're welcome, everybody. Lori, Lillian, Emily. Glad to have you here. Yeah, great. Thanks, Brandon. Oh, love the love. You know, we're all connected to our hearts right now, so we're all feeling like really, really good. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, but thank you again, everybody, and have a wonderful week and happy holidays.
The man with a yoga plan. Thanks very much, Jerry.
You're welcome, Mike. Take care.
We'll see you soon.
Yes, definitely.
Thanks everybody for joining us.